Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I really understand the feeling of why everything just feels like a lie. Because it kind of is. Everything is a lie. History is a lie. Fucking, the sky is literally not even blue, right? And it's so much easier to believe everything is a lie than to believe what it actually is. There's so much of philosophy is just based in what exactly truth means. And if it's outside the logic of mathematics and physics, truth itself becomes it becomes less and less intangible the further away you get from logical fields of study, right? And it's something I see even in real life, but especially online, right? Even in YouTube, even in this space, or in a lot of different spaces. I can't even just say it's just here. It's a prevailing mindset. It's a very prevailing mindset, especially online, for people to just straight up not even believe that history happened. And it's an opinion I kind of tend to share sometimes, right? Like, I think the stories we tell about history aren't necessarily true. Because you have the, could you call it really scientific field of history? There's archaeology, paleontology, and forensics, which is like the scientific side to history. But then the more humanities or the more, I guess, philosophical sides of history, if that makes sense. And all of them interact to tell us exactly what history was or is. And you could ask a person, you could ask a different person for the last 4,000 years, like every year, like let's say you ask somebody this year and then you ask a different person last year, all the way back to like the Babylonian times or something. What do they think is history, right? What do they think of history? And you know I I really I think history as we know it is a lie because it's something that people have had to repeat to themselves for thousands of years to justify why they would subject their children to the kind of brutality that they have. That's why that in that sense I do think history is a lie. But I also think it's a very subtle form of disinformation as to why people should, you know, education has been very subverted, if I should say. Like, there's a lot of subversive elements in modern education. And when I talk about modern, I'm talking from like the modern era, from like the mid 1800s to now, because education came up with the nation state at the same time, right? You had the, like before the 1700s, the idea of a nation state it wasn't very common actually, right? I can't remember what the first nation state was. Like, I just tried to look it up and I had, like, it just showed me oldest countries in the world. The word country and nation are similar, kind of, but not really. Maybe country, uh, but I'm talking about nation state. The nation state is a very particular entity. It's a very specific entity, right? So let's say you can talk about the era of nationalism in the 19th century, uh, and basically, in a sense, it's sort of pushing off monarchies in favor of like a nation state or a constitutional monarchy, whatever, whatever, whatever. So education became a tool to conform. It became a tool of conformity right? It became a tool of, like, literally, first and foremost, it was a tool to create the perfect soldiers, right? Especially like when Germany unified, like German unification, like when was it, the 1870s? They are also one of the biggest influences on modern education. Literally, the format of education, right? The classroom, the teacher standing in front of the board, all that kind of thing. The ringing the bell. I don't know if them in particular was like the ringing the bell thing, but the format of the what you understand as the classroom and education came from the Germans, right? And their ideology at the time when they were creating their education system was literally to breed the perfect soldiers for the new nation, right? Who knew what the hell could have happened down the line with that, you know? But it's we've been educated to do literally the thing is we've been educated to do what is the bare minimum. If you really think about it, it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum to be able to operate the machines, okay? It's the bare minimum to continue to allow the conveyor belt to continue pushing people along. That's what we were taught. That is what education taught us to do. It didn't teach us to think outside of the box or to think why there is even a box to begin with, because that would be a direct threat to the boxes we're not supposed to look at, right? What would it benefit an education system to teach the students how to question authority? It wouldn't, right? Maybe once they get older and they branch off to different fields of study and everything, maybe there they'll do it. But even then, it's only to a certain point. Conformity is a must in this reality. And it's conformity that even the people who set those standards cannot hold on to them at all, right? Look at religious zealots and especially the very like notable ones. They're always in some kind of degeneracy. Literally, they always are. And it wouldn't be a problem if not for the fact that they're the ones constantly preaching against whatever degeneracy that it is they're talking about, right? And yet these are the people who continue to perpetuate these standards that they themselves can't even live up to. So I understand when people say, like, like I got this one comment on one of my YouTube shorts that said like I posted like a joke or something, like a joke video about slavery, and then somebody said like slavery had been debunked, and slavery's been debunked, I guess. I literally looked at that question. I was like, "Are you being serious?" Like, literally, I asked them like, "Who debunked it?" Oh man, and how would it be debunked if like right now the things that we're talking about are literally the state of technocratic slavery that we exist in right now? Like, and even like things like even things like evolution. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't question these things. You should, please do, right? Please do. Like, if you really genuinely want to find out about these things, especially nowadays, it is actually incredibly easy. And you can do it as long as you have like an internet connection and somewhere to watch, right? You can do it. You can learn about whatever it is. Like, I'm literally right now learning about like jurisprudence and stuff like that. Like, literally like the philosophy of law. Like, just on YouTube or whatever blog articles I can read, because I'm just really interested in it. And this is this isn't stuff that people come across very easily, but you can if you want to. You just type it in and there it is, right? And what I see is dangerous about that. The only problem I have with it is if everything's a lie, that means you're also lying to me. So why should I believe you when you say everything's a lie, right? I'm not going to believe you. And, if we ourselves have come to the conclusion that this place is a horrid place to bring children, it's horrible in what human beings do to one another here simply to survive. It's horrible what they have to engage in, right? That is what is true for us, right? I think it is true for like pretty much if every human was to sit down and really think about it, it's like self-evident, right? I don't know who there are people who would, be, you gotta be positive, you gotta be I don't know, like stop being so pessimistic, blah blah. There's always those like toxic positivity type of people. But if you really sit someone down, the vast majority of humanity would agree that this place is miserable. It's miserable. Don't trust them, don't talk to them, don't be around them, don't do this, don't do, you know you really start to wonder, like, so what the hell am I here for then, right? You have a child, they're not supposed to be gay or lesbian or transgender. They're not supposed to get into a career or a field that you failed in or you hate so much, and then they want to do it. They're not supposed to have their own opinions that will contradict your own, right? Regardless. But somehow I'm meant to believe that this is just what should be done because it's what's always been done. And I can see that that's a huge lie. That is a massive lie. And maybe I'm speaking. I'm kind of biased in that I've been like I'm like a nerd by default. I'm very nerdy, right? I love science. I genuinely love science. It is, it's something I would really want to be available to everyone, right? And it is, right? But to have the initiative, to have it, for people to have the initiative to look this stuff up, I would love for that to happen. Because it sifts through a lot of ignorance, it sifts through a lot of anxieties and fears you might have about things you don't know, and it really just lays it down for you very easily. And I'm glad that, as much as I will criticize social media and all that, there are definitely creators out there putting out really good content. The fact is, they're just not going to trend. They're just not going to trend at all. And I really have to thank Life is Overrated 96 for first for shouting me out and for shouting out all the other creators, like really, like, people just saying what it is and how it is, right? Because it seems like you talking about you talking about things that actually matter to human beings is what gets you deplatformed. That's what gets you demonetized, shadow banned, like. And yet you still have Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Meg the Stallion monetized fully on YouTube, right? Sometimes multiple ads on like 3-4 minute songs. And it's not just them, like, I point them out because like they're just the most obvious ones. You've got guys rapping about drugs, guns, prostitution, and yet there are really, oh man, I hate what they've done to hip hop. Like, there are some amazing rappers, hip hop artists, and there are people. There are people who have literally shaped my philosophy in life. Like, the things they've talked about have shaped literally who I am today. And yet they will never get the kind of views, clicks, and monetization that all these mainstream degenerate rappers get, right? Because it's just poison for the mind. It literally, it warps your sense of humanity. It does. And I'm glad that these people, like, no matter how small or big my channel gets, even if I have like 12 people who watch my stuff, that truly means the world to me, right? You can really, people overestimate, or really they just underestimate how small actions impact a lot of people. And I'm glad that at least on this side of YouTube, people are they're literally upfront. Like, you want to rant, you want to rant. You want to make a cohesive argument about why you believe what you believe, you do that. You just do it. You just do it because you want to. And you're doing it for an audience who loves hearing this kind of stuff. And to be honest, when it comes to getting seen, it's going to happen. It's not really going to be too difficult for very long. a lot of people, I think, are coming to the realization that, what they invest their time, money, energy in is a lie. It is a lie. Your marriage is a lie. Your career is a lie. Your religion definitely is a lie, right? And people can't sit too long and have these thoughts in their head because it's bad for business. It's literally bad. That's it. It's bad for business. And, I'll always, I think on my channel, maybe I don't say it enough, but, no matter how miserable and isolated you might feel, just always try to educate yourself in some way. Just always try to educate it. Read about something you want to, right? Just do that. Literally do that. It won't hurt you to do it at all. Read about something you want to. Learn about something you've always wanted to learn and you've never had the initiative to do it, right? You can only let so much, your brain can only take so much, but if you give it enough, your brain will be giving you the signals to be like, let's get up and do this, and let's look more of that up, let's look more of this up, like, except if it's porn, stop doing that shit, all right? It's bad for the brain. It's bad for the brain. It's bad for the brain, okay? But I know I'm not one to talk, okay? Just like, do things that you want to do, that fulfill you, right? Do things that fulfill you. Learn something that you didn't learn today. Learn something today that you didn't know yesterday. No matter what it is. Even if it's like I have those like 1000 facts kind of books you didn't know. Like, I've had them for a long time and I think they're really useful. Even if it's just to know something that somebody else doesn't, right? And even after you've learned all that, and it's not to say like you'll be some like a big brain, like omniscient genius after you learn all that stuff. The reality will still remain the same. I say it all the time. This reality hasn't changed from when I was like 16, 17 years old. So why would I need to mature? What is maturing in that sense? What would it mean to mature? Would it just mean to lie to myself? To just conform with the other stupid people? I don't believe in that, and I didn't. I just didn't believe in it. Once it all clicked, I just didn't believe in it. And I'm somebody who can't force myself to believe in something I don't believe in. I could never do that. I physically can't. Like, physically can't. Not even psychologically. I'm just like, what the hell? I know I don't want to do this, and my body will be like, you're staying right here. So yes, everything is a lie. Yes, but if everything is a lie, and you say it's a lie, then you're lying too. Right? Just always remember that. If everything's a lie and you believe it's a lie and you say it's a lie, then you're also lying. So we're all liars, right? Fun times.